Making me nervous.
No, I'm sorry. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Hardworking Mayanja, and this is the Mayanja Accredited News Network. We are on another episode of my Everyday Hero interview series where I interview someone in your life or someone in my life that makes us smile but does not get the credit they deserve. Today, I am interviewing a coworker, a pal, a real good friend, Olivia. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much, Olivia.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
There is no justice when so few have so much and so many have so little.
Olivia, Olivia, who are you? Where are you from? And then we'll jump off from there.
Sure. My name's Olivia. I grew up in Needham, which is a town not too far from Q.
Exactly.
I'm 23. I graduated from UVM in last May, so almost a year, approaching a year.
Congrats.
My major was exercise science, which I loved studying. I loved it. Originally, when I applied into that major way back in 2011, I was thinking PT.
I was
thinking PT as
okay.
my career path.
Okay.
But I had absolutely nothing to go on. I don't know why I picked PT. I just thought it sounded cool. My brother was in PT a lot. I was like, that's kind of cool. But I loved my study, and upon graduation, I stumbled across just a job that I knew nothing about as a rehab nursing tech. During my time at UVM, I always kind of had nursing in the back of my mind.
Yes.
We had a lot of overlap with nursing students in the classes that I took. So I kind of always had it as almost like a backup idea.
Yes.
But similar to PT, I had no idea what actually went into nursing. But I came across this job, rehab nursing tech, and it kind of fit both worlds. It had the rehab portion, which I was familiar with from exercise science, and the nursing portion, which I was kind of interested in exploring. Yes. And I had no other real direction post-graduation, so I took the job and have been working there since, and as you know.
Yes.
And so I'm working as a rehab tech since, and I love it.
Yeah, we love having you. I think, did we start at the same time? No, you were before.
I was before you. I started in like July.
So I've loved being there and having you be part of the team because it's just been absolutely amazing. So we're going to probably get to the exercise science because I see that as, the big arching future where we're going to. But I definitely want to start with you being a rehab nurses tech. It's just absolutely amazing the amount of work that you guys do every single day, right? So we work together and you do some of the things that I find to be just really, really difficult to do throughout the day. And you do it not once, not twice, but a million times a day, over and over, all day, every day. And you're pretty great at it. Absolutely great at it. Did you do any kind of patient care type of work prior to you being a nursing aide?
Nothing. Honestly, when I applied to the job, I didn't think I was qualified because I'm not a certified nurse aide. Okay. Where a lot of places will require that as a nurse aide. But because I had the background in exercise science and I had a base knowledge of medical things, they kind of took that as my qualifications. Exactly. Which is good because I'm glad I got the job. But I had no clinical experience. I had interned at a PT clinic in my senior spring at school, but it was not hands-on at all. I really just sat in the room and watched the PTs do their thing. Yes. Which was a really good experience and also what helped me push away from PT. Not in a bad way. I just knew it just wasn't for me. I wanted something more hands-on. I wanted to be really in there with the patients. Yes. That's what I like best about the job is the patient interaction and developing that patient relationship. Which I think rehab specifically is kind of amazing for because we get to know our patients really well. They're with us for 2-3 weeks, sometimes over a month.
Sometimes over a month.
So it's just that's what I love the most is getting that patient interaction, and I had no experience beforehand. But.
And I really do think that's probably the biggest factor when you're doing anything nursing patient care. It's like, if you like being with people, then you're going to be good. If you don't like being with people, if you don't like caring for people, you it's not the job for you. Just like, that's not what you're going to do, right? Yeah. But the thing I've come to understand, being a nurse, is that nurses have to do a whole lot of stuff, right? Nurses aides have to do a whole lot of stuff. What bothers me about nursing far from the rest is it's just like the stress on the documentation versus the patient care, right? And it's important. Well, of course, patient care is important, and that's like the main thing. That's the reason we're there. But if we don't document it, it never happened. If you don't document it, then, you know, you can get in trouble. And it ends up being, our focus ends up being on the documentation versus the patient care. And then that's where you come in, because you guys get to do the things that I imagined when I was watching Grey's Anatomy. They definitely did not show as many people on the computer as long as we were on.
No.
It was all patient care.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to be a nurse. And I love my job, but the documentation's a killer.
It's a real setback.
Oh, God. Forget about it. But the thing I know about you is you're really good with the patients. How do you build that relationship with every single patient? And I know there's some, you know, 1 in a million that are it's not the greatest right away, but you just are so good with each and every patient. How does that happen? How do you build that relationship?
I think it's something that it kind of, you know, it has a lot to do with how you're raised, I think.
Yes.
You need to have a baseline understanding of respect, and knowing that everyone is going through their own stuff. Exactly. And, you know, someone could be having a terrible day for some reason that you're not aware of, and maybe that's why they're acting a little agitated, and you just always have to take into consideration that, you know, everyone has their own stuff going on, and it's my job as a nursing assistant to try to make their stay with us as smooth as possible.
Exactly.
So, and that's my ultimate goal, because I know being in rehab is a tough position to be in, no matter what it is, for whatever reason. And I know the people probably aren't always going to be their best selves, even though a lot of them are really, really sweet.
They really are, yes.
You know, I think that it's my responsibility to try to help them not only heal physically, but have the best time mentally that they can, because it's a stressful time of life, and I don't want to put any additional stress on anyone ever. So I just always try to, from the start, develop a relationship that's just open and always kind, always patient first.
Exactly. Yeah. And those are the big keys. Like, it has to be patient first. Patient first, patient first, patient first. If the patient's not first, you're doing something wrong, right? Mm-hmm. Everything the reason you're there, the reason we're doing all this work, all this documentation, all these tasks because the patient is in whatever predicament that patient is in, and we're trying to get them to feel better. So I found out really quickly, really quickly, that before I became a nurse, that you need to be quick, you need to be fast, you need to be on point, and you need to have your shit together. I had no idea how much that meant, right? So the pace at which you go from one task to the next, the pace at which you go from one patient's room to the next, the pace at which you go from the patient's room to the, you know, Omni cell to get the meds or to get the blood sugars, whatever, needs to be quick. Olivia, you are the fastest human being when it comes to speed walking I've ever met in the history of people, right? Have you always just walked super fast?
Honestly, yes. Honestly, I just walked really fast.
It's crazy. You have to see it, because she's just like sprinting down the hallways, walking, but sprinting, and it helps. It's actually like it's tiring.
Yeah.
You know, when I first started, it was rough, but you've always been that fast. It's just been you, even before being a nurse's tech.
Before my last job that I had at school was a waitress. You have to be fast then too. Honestly, I think a lot of my waitressing and prior work in retail, it's all customer service.
It really is.
And nursing really is customer service as well. And the customer's always right. So
it is always
the patient's always right. And you learn that really quick. Yes. And it helps if you have that as an understanding. Like, customer's always right. And, you know, doing the little things to make them smile can just make it all the better.
It really does. So, okay, let's jump into this exercise science because that's what I want to talk about. So she's in good shape, as you can see. Do you work out a lot outside of work? Do you run? Do you jump? Do you, ski, row? What do you do? And what's the big plan moving forward?
Yeah. Really, I pretty much work out every day that I have off.
That's amazing. That's just amazing. I am so jealous. I'm just so jealous.
Well, the thing is, I figured out how to make it easy, kind of. Studying exercise science in school was amazing, and I loved all the classes that I took, and we learned some really amazing information, including a lot of information about different studies, all new studies that are always coming out about the benefits of exercise.
Yes.
I mean, just one Google search and you can find like a bunch of studies on how exercise alone without medication and drugs can improve so many of the chronic diseases that we have plaguing our healthcare system now. So, I mean, that alone is a huge motivation to work out, is having all that information. But just having been working out for as long as I have and knowing how you can feel so much better mentally and physically is really my motivation, because I think it should always be yourself that's motivating you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I work out.
Is there so what's like, I want to know, like, real practical. So like let's get these people moving, right? What do you do? Is it running every day? Is it on the bike? Are you doing weights? Do you do CrossFit? Do you do cycle classes, yoga? What do you do?
Honestly, it's I do a combination. Most of the days I'm running at least 1.5 to 3 miles. Not a lot. Okay. I'm not a big runner. I don't like to run.
That's a lot.
But I mean, it's all about picking what you like to do, because that's going to help you want to do it.
Definitely.
So I went through a lot of trial and error, and I don't like running that much. So I cap out at 3 miles. I never run for longer than that. And so usually I'm doing a little bit of a run, and then actually what I like to do is I like to search on Pinterest, actually, which seems so not legit, but it can be. You can make it legit. I like to find the little HIIT workouts, like high intensity interval training, and do those, because what I found for myself is that I need to do short bursts of lots of different types of exercise to keep it interesting for me. Otherwise I get bored or anything. That's what I'm usually doing.
I have to ask, because I do CrossFit. Have you ever thought about doing CrossFit?
I have thought about it.
You would be amazing. It's done. You'd be amazing at it. High intensity, short bursts. It's the definition of CrossFit. It's really not, but it's very much a ton. I'd say like 75 to 80% of my experience in CrossFit has been high intensity, short periods, and like people consider, like, CrossFit is a 1 hour class each day, or whatever, however many times you go a week. But out of that 1 hour, the workouts are usually no more than 30 minutes. Half of the class is stretching, half of the class is explaining, half of the class is technique. But I think you'd be absolutely great at it.
Yeah.
So what I really like what you said is that you have to like it, because that's the only way it's gonna happen.
Right. It's not gonna stick if you don't like it.
And through my time, and I'm only 23. What the hell do I know? But I have figured it out that it really doesn't matter if you're doing CrossFit, if you're doing yoga, if you're running every day, if you do it doesn't matter what the workout is. It doesn't matter how you move. If you're moving, as long as you're moving, it works, right? You just got to move right and eat right. And that's the key. You got to like it.
That's, I think, what I'm a biggest advocate for, is just do something.
Exactly.
Even if it's just walking your dog, which I love to do. I love to walk my dog. And sometimes that's my exercise for the day, honestly. But it's better than nothing. One thing that I learned in exercise science in my studies that always stuck with me was a study done on women with pre-diabetes, pre-diabetic symptoms. And they had an experimental group where they walked for 6 minutes a day. Six minutes.
That's it? 6 minutes?
That's a commercial break.
It really is.
And
it really is.
They had the control group on their regular medications. And the group walking for just 6 minutes a day saw way better improvements than the group on medications. 6 minutes a day, just walking.
Okay, Olivia, what you're doing right now is you lose. I'm losing a job right now. Okay, let's wrap this up. We need a little more. I'm kidding. Of course, that's great. That's amazing. But that's the reason.
Just any little bit.
Everything. Everything counts. It really does count. But So I have to ask, how much of nutrition do you care about? Like, is nutrition a big, huge factor? The last time we had work, I asked you what you were eating, and she said some quiche, some crazy, nice, healthy thing. And I don't know. I'm just very, very bad when it comes to eating healthy.
Yeah.
How much of that do you care about?
Well, I actually minored in nutrition as well at school.
The skill.
And honestly, if you're looking just to make major health improvements, nutrition is the best way to do it. Exercise, secondary, obviously, together is the best.
Exactly.
But if you can only pick one, if exercise is just not going to happen for you, nutrition is the way to better your health, really. And for me, I mean, there's all the, vegan is so trendy right now, and juices and all that stuff, which, I mean, I like juices. But for me, it's always been about balance. Like if I want to go have a Shamrock Shake at McDonald's because they're my favorite thing ever, I'll do it.
Are they actually good?
They're so
the
good.
Shamrock Shakes?
I've
never had one. I know what we're doing after.
They're only available for the month of March. So.
Oh, that's awesome. You're crazy.
No,
okay.
it's true.
All right.
But so it's all about balance. If you want to splurge for a day and have a more extravagant meal, then maybe work out a little bit longer, or have a healthy breakfast, like fruit and yogurt for breakfast, and then you can have a big cheeseburger for lunch or whatever. Just about balance, and focusing on trying to get everything that you need to satisfy yourself. You should never try to deprive yourself of anything. Never cut, unless that's something you want to do. If you want to be vegan and totally cut all animal products out, go for you. That's amazing. But I can't do that. I'm not that strong.
Ditto.
And I know for myself and for a lot of people, this is the case. If you deprive yourself of a craving, you're just going to end up filling that craving in a more unhealthy way later on. If you're really craving a bag of chips and you say, oh no, that's not healthy, I can't have that, let me have a banana for now instead. Later on in the day, you're going to have 2 bags of chips because you didn't fulfill that craving and it's still there.
That's the truth.
So,
happens every single time.
Yeah, so it's just about balance.
So you're not for these big fad diets, right?
It's not that I'm not for them.
It's not.
They don't work for me. Okay. And I think it's silly to try and force yourself to do something that isn't going to work for you, because you're going to end up either regressing or failing and getting discouraged. So just know yourself and do the best you can for yourself. And that's gonna give you the best.
I've noticed that quite a bit. Is that like when I would do like these crazy, not like, I don't want to say fad diets, but when I would do like cutting off sugar entirely, right? It'd be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of going strong, kicking some real ass, and then the results are there.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking nice, right? I'm looking good. Summer beats, sun's out, guns out, ready. But I swear to you, it would take 3 weeks, a month for me to get there. It'd be 2 days of me eating regular sugar again, and it's like nothing happened. Nothing happened. So you're right. Like you got, it has to be balanced, and it has to be something not only that you could do long term, but something you think you can carry on for the rest of your life. Because if you can't, like the minute you stop that fad, that diet, the juicing, whatever, it all comes back.
And sometimes even more so.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's horrible.
Yeah. Diets don't work. That's, again, another thing that I learned that will always stick with me. Diets don't work. It has to be a lifestyle change for anything to be sustainable. Because if you're saying, oh, I'm going to diet for 6 weeks.
Exactly.
And after those 6 weeks, you tell yourself, oh, I did good. Like, I deserve this treat. That cycle can continue.
Oh, forget it.
So it needs to be sustainable. It needs to be lifelong. And it needs to be balanced.
I like it. Done. So that's just how I do it. So for life, I'll be eating my Snickers ice cream.
I know.
And Shamrock Shakes.
That's fine.
Exactly. It has to be.
As long as it's not for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day.
Oh, maybe we got to fix that. But okay. So now I would love to talk to you. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. And you're Irish. You're Irish. So how much Irish is in your blood? Are you like born in Ireland, came over here yesterday? How Irish are you?
I am very, very, very Irish.
She's very Irish.
Honestly, I'm so disappointed that I don't have an Irish last name, just because that one line where the last name comes from, my dad's paternal line, is British.
Okay.
So we don't have an Irish last name, but every other person in my entire family is Irish.
What's your last name?
Hebard.
Hebard.
But my grandmother's Foley, my mom's side is Clunan, Coughlin.
So let's talk about St. Patrick's Day, because it's super, super important, and it's coming up. And in America, I don't know anything about St. Patrick's Day. I don't know anything about being Irish at all, outside of Conor McGregor. He's Irish or Scott? He's Irish. Yeah, okay. That's all I know is Conor McGregor. What happens on St. Patrick's Day? What is that all about?
Well, the real St. Patrick's Day is... it's not the most legit holiday.
Okay.
Honestly,
I don't think any holiday is really legit.
It was it was kind of created because it falls during Lent, so it was kind of created as a Lent cheat day. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great holiday. So that's legit. What do you mean? That's the best. Okay, I'm sorry. Go.
So it was. I mean, the story behind it is the reason that it exists. The story is that St. Patrick drove out all the snakes out of Ireland. And that, that's always been the story.
Yeah.
And over the years, the Irish people kind of just developed that into an excuse day to celebrate. And because back then, a lot of the people were giving up, people give up things for Lent.
Exactly.
Back then, it was more often than not alcohol that people were giving up for Lent. So, but apparently...
So now St. Patrick's Day is starting to make a little bit of sense. A little bit of sense.
So apparently 40 days was too long to go without drinking for most people. So Lent was created as kind of an excuse, like, oh, we need to celebrate St. Patrick.
Oh my God.
So we can drink today.
I'm not Christian Catholic. I don't do Lent, but is St. Patrick's Day halfway through? Is it towards the end of the 40 days?
It's pretty much halfway. I think it changes because Easter is always a different day, but St. Patrick's Day is always March 17th.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
But about halfway.
So, if you're saying it's not a legit holiday, if there's any time to have a holiday, that would be it. Because I'm thinking, I grew up Muslim, right? Mm-hmm. We fast.
Yep.
Like we don't eat in the month of Ramadan, right? And if we were to have a holiday in the middle where we just got to eat and just feast, that would be legit. Mm-hmm. I don't know who I'm gonna ask. I'm making my prayers, but let's. That's a great idea.
Yep.
Do you have a family thing? Is there an Irish thing that you guys do every St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
So my mom always makes corned beef and cabbage, which is the only Irish food that exists. Potatoes and corned beef and cabbage.
Exactly.
Actually, it's kind of funny this year because I don't know if you know this, but during Lent you're not supposed to eat meat on Fridays.
Wow.
But the Catholics have been given a freebie because St. Patrick's Day is on a Friday this year, so we're all allowed to eat our corned beef and cabbage.
Good for you.
So yeah, we're gonna have corned beef and cabbage. My mom makes it just the one time a year, and it's really, really good. Okay. And it's in my house. It's always been kind of a family day, with grandparents and things like that. Since I've been a little bit older, I celebrate the other way as well. But
is that your weekend on? Do you know yet?
I have it off.
That means it's my weekend on. I'm about to rally.
Yeah, but you gotta get that coffee.
Of course. Yeah, 2-3 hours of sleep. You can do it. It. But that's just great. Like I'm actually very grateful for this. I never knew why I was turning up real bad on St. Patrick's Day, but now I know, and it's you have to do it now. It's a responsibility to all of you to turn up on St. Patrick's Day because it's your only day during Lent. Exactly, it's your only day. So if you gave up candy, munch. If you gave up drinking, drink. If you gave up partying, you gotta party. Yeah. You have to do it.
It's just a fun holiday.
It really is.
You just have a good time. That's the focus. Is to have a good time.
It is. So, and you holiday. Being in Boston is just great because I
haven't been in Boston for the past 4 years for St. Patrick's Day. Because I've been at UVM.
Oh yes. Okay. Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an extravagant St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's weekend this year.
Definitely.
Good for you. So I do this all the time. For all my interviews that I do, at the end I always say, because I'm having you on and I'm calling you an everyday hero, and I actually believe that because the things you do for me personally is just above and beyond amazing at work, but more importantly, the things you do for the patients, the things you do for the people we care for is just super, super special. So I have to ask advice to the young ladies, the young lads, the young men out there who want to be a nurse, who wants to do patient care, who want to get into the work that you're doing, what is some advice you can give them?
Yeah, I think the biggest piece of advice I can give is just kind of like do no harm. I mean, that's in like the code of ethics and things like that. But why, I mean, this is just how I live my life personally. Like, why make things more difficult than they need to be for anyone, for yourself, for people you're working with, for patients, for the cashier at your checkout? Like, why make things more difficult? Everyone is going through their own stuff. You don't know. So just do the best you can to make things easier for people. And you have to want to help people. I've just always really liked working with people, and it's a really good feeling that I think really only nurses and similar practices can understand. When you go home, even if you've had a terrible day, terrible shift, everything's going wrong, lights are going off nonstop, you're short-staffed, whatever. Even if you've had a terrible day, I still go home and think back, you know, you helped all those patients today. You did. Even if you weren't able to do everything you wanted to, you helped. And that itself is so rewarding. And you have to strive for that feeling every day.
It's great that you say it. Like I honestly believe that, like, through and through, because it's not like, I don't know if it's like specific people can or cannot be nurses, doctors, healthcare providers at all. It's just that if you have to go into work and not like pump yourself up for a 12-hour shift, but if you have to like change who you are to care about other people, I don't think it's the right. You're
not gonna be able to do that.
You cannot do it. Like, you have to want to care. And like, you heard our argument, our, like, you know, problems we have with the healthcare system today is that we don't get to do enough caring. Like, we want to care more and document less.
Right. I mean, those tough days are more often than not sometimes, and it's upsetting when I feel like I could have done more, but due to, you know, documentation restrictions and things like that, I couldn't do as much as I wanted to. Like, but do what you can.
Exactly. You got to do what you can. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
And then lastly, so Olivia, 5 years from now, when you're a superstar exercise science guru, or if you're a nurse and you're taking over the freaking world, whatever it is you decide to do, and you're getting recognition, and you're on top of the world, and then Q calls you and says, Olivia, could I please come and have another interview? Would you do me the honors?
Of course. Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool beans. Olivia, thank you very much. You guys, don't forget, like and subscribe. I'm going to have the description below. Olivia, is there an Instagram, a Facebook, a Snapchat where you want people to follow, like, subscribe?
My Instagram is Hebard.
Hebard. Perfect. It's going to be in the description below. So like, subscribe, share, and then follow my homegirl, Olivia. She's going to teach you her ways, and you're going to see her workouts and all these exciting things that she does in her life. Olivia, thank you for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck, and I will see you at work in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Deuces.